Hi there guys, John here of the Movie Blog, and this is my quick review of the new Quentin Tarantino film, Inglourious Basterds. Now, there's no two ways around it. Quentin Tarantino is a filmmaking genius. I love an awful lot of his films. But it's also not a surprise around the Movie Blog, or not a shock, it's not a secret around the Movie Blog, that I really did not like his half of Grindhouse, which was, of course, Death Proof. I didn't like that film at all. To me, that film seemed like he was getting a little bit self-indulgent, and it was just a lot of talking about nothing that had anything to do with the movie. But that being as it is, coming into this summer, at the beginning of the summer, I did a post on the Movie Blog listing all 70 films coming out in the summer, and I broke it down into must-sees, maybe-sees, and definitely avoid. And at number 10 on my must-see list for this summer was Inglourious Basterds, because Quentin Tarantino is a genius, and he has a performer like Brad Pitt in it, and I think Brad Pitt is a terrific actor. So I finally get a chance to go see this film that I've been really excited about seeing, Inglourious Basterds. Now, let me start with some of the good stuff. The guy playing the bad guy. Now, you hear me say this all the time. I think it's pivotal for a film like this, and several other genres of films, to have a compelling antagonist, a really good bad guy. And Inglourious Basterds has a terrific bad guy by an actor I don't think I've ever seen before. His name's Christopher Waltz, if I remember it right. And he was fantastic playing Colonel Hans, and he was creepy and menacing and intelligent, and he freaks you out. And the opening scene of the film does a great job of establishing this character, and you are instantly afraid of this guy because of the opening scene of the movie, and I won't give too much away of it, but I'll just leave it to you to see. The performance of Christopher Waltz playing this guy was fantastic. He totally sold me on this character. I loved it. Also, no surprise, I really liked Brad Pitt in the film. I thought in the trailer there was the risk of him coming across kind of cheesy, but he maintains it so steadily through the film that it really becomes a part of this character, and I actually end up really liking his performance. There are also a couple, as you would expect to see in a Quentin Tarantino film, a couple of real shock moments, and definitely Inglourious Basterds gives you a couple of shock moments. Having said that, the trailer for Inglourious Basterds, when you watch the trailer, it's loaded with action. I mean, from a guy taking the baseball bat to a guy's head, the scene of a guy running down the hall with the big machine guns yelling, "Ah!" as he's shooting machine guns, and, the Jeep pulling to a stop with the three bastards, then shooting all the guys in the Jeep. Lots of action in the trailer. I tell you this now. Every second of action that is in this movie is in the trailer. As a matter of fact, there is so little action in this movie that scene in the trailer, the guy running down the hall with the two guns screaming, "Ah!" that ain't even in the movie. That's not even in the movie. This is a slow... Now, let me back it up. The first 15 to 20 minutes of this film, I loved. I mean, there was the opening scene of the movie, which you don't see in any of the trailers, and then there's this big scene that we see in the trailers of Brad Pitt introducing himself to his soldiers, saying, "I want 100 scalps." The first 15, 20 minutes of the film are really good, and I remember saying to myself, I made a note on my iPhone, I said, Tarantino's back. Because it felt awesome, and he established this character, and everything was so good. But at that point, the film goes completely downhill. It was painfully slow, unbearably boring. And just, part of it is expectation. The trailers and the marketing gave me the expectation that I was in for a real fun, some action. Didn't have to be wall-to-wall action ride, but there's none of it. None of it. And here's the thing. Tarantino is a genius. I love Tarantino's work for the most part. But it strikes me that he's getting a little bit self-indulgent, because this movie is over 2.5 hours long. And about 2 hours and 20 minutes of that 2.5 hours are real long, sitting around a table diatribes that could have been more than cut in half. I mean, there's this one scene in a bar, and I won't give away the details of the plot or anything, but there's a scene in this little basement bar where there's people around talking that easily could have effectively been done in about 2.5 to 3 minutes. The scene was 12 minutes long. And it's just oh my God, please just end this scene and move on. But there's scene after scene after scene of this kind of stuff. Also, I know they're buddies and everything, but why Quentin Tarantino puts Eli Roth, who is a good director, and I like him as a director, even though I didn't like Hostel 2, I like Eli Roth as a director. This guy can't act at all, and every second he's on screen was a joke. Also, there's a cameo by Mike Myers in the film that was so painful and so bad. It was just whatever. And it's like I see what Tarantino was going for and all these kind of different plot devices, and some of them were pretty clever, but executed really badly. But overall, it's just like, there's this little boat called the Inglourious Basterds, and there's this really heavy weight that's just dragging it down. And that was these unbearably long, pointless, not plot-related diatribes that just killed it. Part of it was my expectation, because the trailers led me to believe there's all this action, but every second of action that is in this movie is in the trailer. And then some, because there's some action in the trailer that's not even in the movie. Great bad guy, terrific opening 20 minutes, a couple of good performances by the lead bad guy, Christopher Waltz, and Brad Pitt, but the dialogue is so self-indulgent, and so long, and so drawn out, and quite often pointless. See, it's fine to have long, drawn-out dialogue if it's pertinent to the plot, but there was so much in this that wasn't even necessary. There's this British agent in the film. You could have cut him out of the film entirely, and it wouldn't have affected one thing about the movie. I'm left feeling really disappointed. Like I said, this was the number 10 most anticipated film on my list for the summer. I left feeling very disappointed and extremely bored. And it leaves me aching to see Tarantino get back to it again, and just get away from this. Let somebody edit his films other than himself, because this was way too long and way too dry. He had a great idea, but it just went awry. Anyway, there are many people out there who have a different opinion. I don't understand how, but more power to you. Go see it for yourself. Absolutely go see it for yourself. Form your own opinion on it. I'm just saying that's mine. Anyway, thanks for checking out this little review for the movie blog. My name is John Campea.